What is going
Yo,
on, everybody?
what's up?
We are back, and my name is Nick Valley.
My name is Jonah Doc and
And this
we're
is
Rev Rock Revolution!
You always gotta, Jonah, I don't know what it is. I feel like you always have to hold that out longer than me. It feels like some weird competition. We're like,
I just try to go for as loud and as long as possible. The most chaos.
That season. We're in episode 7 of season 2, and that intro never gets old. We could be on episode 397, and I would still be in love with that intro.
Me too. We're never gonna change it.
I'm just never. But even though this episode is about things changing, that will never. So it's never gonna change. How we say the different phrase, chef's kiss. How was your week, Jonah? Listen, I just want to tell our viewers, it has been easier to get in touch with the CIA than it has to get in touch with Jonah, Doc, and I this week. So I am living to hear what he has been up to this week.
Dude, Xavier and I have been so freaking busy. So on top of Xavier's normal school schedule, so my brother Xavier, he's my drummer for those of you who are just tuning in. He is a high school student, so he's doing like honors AP classes and stuff. And on top of that, he is the captain of the JV team for his high school. And then on top of that, we're writing new material. So any chance I get with Xavier, it has been just write, grind. And also I've been teaching him production, and I've been teaching him how to produce and stuff on top of that, so then he could help me out. So we an update of what we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. We've been writing a lot of arrangements for songs. We were focusing on a brand, like a whole record, all brand new material. That's probably going to be our self-titled album, because we're super proud of all the material we come up with. But we came up with like 20 songs. So what we're going to do instead is
double album.
We're kind of doing that. We're gonna so five of those songs didn't match the vibe of what we were going for the self-titled record. So we're just gonna combine that with Lies, make that do something, because it's also a lot of older material around the same time that we were working on those. And then we're also gonna have a whole brand new album of original material that'll probably come out either later this year or early next year. So this year is freaking packed of new material for Jinx. We have one of the songs in production right now. Yeah, I am super excited. We've been grinding out material nonstop, and usually I struggle with lyrics, and for a lot of this material, lyrics are coming really naturally and easily, which I am loving.
What is with us lately? It's the same thing. I feel like we're writing way more. We have tons of material for like multiple records. Lyrics are easy for us. When we've talked we had like a whole segment of this show, an entire episode, where we talked about how much we hated lyric writing, and then we made fun of
our old
lyrics. So I don't know what's going on with us lately, but I'm digging it. This year has been really cool.
It's a new year. We're super hyped. That's what it is. We're ready to hit the ground running. Yeah.
Bro, for real. I mean, I could tell you from my perspective, and I'm probably you're experiencing the same thing. Last year was such like a development structural year for me that this year is like, okay, everything's together. I'm just going to hit the ground running now and just do what I do now that I figured out what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that exact thing, because like last year, learning how to produce, how to mix well, learning how to improve my songwriting too. Now it's just constant, like just on the grind, get going, and also have fun doing it. That I feel like we're able to appreciate the process even more now than we did when we initially started.
This has been the most fun I've had making music ever. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's been really good, man. Speaking of new music, do you mind if I drop
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit?
Go ahead.
of,
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Everybody releases on a Friday, kind of music industry standard. I'm going to go against the grain as I always have, always going down the difficult path. But no, literally, so when this episode comes out, it's going to be Monday. So when you're watching this, Wednesday, January 31st, the second single off my rebrand, new sound, the next era of Nick Valley, What About Me, comes out on January 31st, and I'm super excited about this song.
I love this song.
I know Jonah played bass on this song, so it's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. The Jonah Doc and I Biggs played on my song, and I'm forever grateful for that. And there's other songs he played on too, which will be coming out later. But I'm really excited about this one because it's kind of like a sister song to Here I Am. It's kind of like the edgy, like, next emotion you feel. Like, first when you have a crush on someone and they don't notice you, you have, like, that longing, like, oh, I want to be with this person, the butterflies, the fantasies in your head. And then it kind of like that anger phase kind of starts to happen. Like, why isn't she into me? It doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of like the next part of the song. Like, you know what? You can have him. You clearly don't want me. So that's like the next song, and I'm really excited for everyone to hear it. It definitely brings out the punk, and it's been described as Shawn Mendes singing Green Day, and Green Day's new album is what we're going to be talking about here. So look at that. I didn't even need to do that.
That was a seamless yeah. Dude. And of course now we ruined it by talking about the segue.
But Jonah, that's the beauty of our show, is breaking the fourth wall constantly. That's the magic. That's why people
That's what makes Rev Rock Revolution.
Exactly. That's what makes Rev Rock Revolution. So yeah, the new Green Day album. Where were you when you first listened to it all the way through? What did you think? I would love to get your thoughts on this. I have a funny story about it. So.
I'm excited to hear that. But for me, I had this marked on my calendar for weeks because I love Green Day.
Same.
I don't know if I told this story before, but
I think you did. Yes.
Oh, did about my mom and stuff.
If you know what, if someone's watching this for the first time, you can just tell like the abridged version. It's really fucking cool.
Very short story. So my mom grew up in this town called Rodeo. It's in the Bay Area. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day and Mike Dirnt, they both also lived in that town and went to high school there.
Jesus
and
Christ.
They both took lessons from the same music teacher, Mrs. Fiataroni, at Fiat Music. And if you guys watched Howard Stern, Green Day just did an interview on there, and they kind of talked about it. And Mrs. Fiataroni would book them gigs. They had like shows and stuff, and would go to like veterans hospitals and stuff and perform. So yeah,
awesome.
My mom performed with Green Day when she was, or not Green Day, but Billy Joe when she was like 7 years old with her sisters and his dad.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that part. You didn't say that part of the story last time, so I'm glad that I had you give it, because you kind of gave a different story, which is even cool, which is really cool. You didn't tell me that. You told me all you told me was that they went to school. You didn't say anything about. Okay.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm kind of flabbergasted.
I'll have to find.
I wasn't expecting that.
There's this awesome picture where it's Billy Joe, my mom and her sisters, and Billy Joe's dad on stage, and she sent it to like all their siblings, because Billy Joe's dad died when he was like 10 years old. That's what Wake Me Up When September Ends was about and stuff. So
oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Wow, that's really crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty. So Green Day's been like a big part of my musical journey, like throughout my entire life, because my mom would always talk about that's kind of the reason, like, I thought, like, and my mentality is like, I could do this because my mom knew Billy Joe, and he just thought, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
Music's my thing. So that's been a big inspiration for me. And like Dookie and American Idiot have been in my mom's car on repeat forever. So they're big parts of
my God,
my musical upbringing. Yeah. But back
really
to the
cool.
album. There's just so much lead up. But yeah, we were driving home from one of Xavier's basketball games, and it was like right when it came out. I was like, okay, we're stopping all the music in the car. We're going to listen to this album. And yeah, it's a perfect album. All the songs I enjoyed.
I know, right?
There's like, and I was even watching like a Green Day interview, and they were like, this is some of the best music we have written. And I love that mentality for a band that's as old as they are, because some bands, they're like, we have all these good albums.
Wait, you got to rephrase that. A band that's been around as long as they have. We're not age shaming Green Day here. We don't need the canceled.
Yeah, but yeah, you see some bands that have been around longer than they have, that have like, they're like, we're fine with just playing the greatest hits. We're not gonna come out with anything new. We're not gonna try to.
I hate that, man.
Do better, yeah. But
why rest on your laurels? Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
That's not why you started this in the first place. You're gonna tell me you became an artist so you could just play the same 20 songs for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I don't get that. That I get bored playing some of the songs off of Lies already, and it hasn't even been out for a year. That's why I'm excited for new material.
Oh my God! You want to hear something worse? I get bored of songs as soon as I finish mixing them. I'm just like done. By the time I release something, I'm so done with it, and I'm on to the next thing. So that's a problem. I should see someone about that.
I don't think that's a problem. I think that's awesome, because you're super forward thinking, and you're already on to the next thing.
Exactly. I'm like Prince, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me tell you about when oh my God! I just heard the earth shake when I said that. He was not happy. I would never compare myself to you, Pastor. You're Thunderbolt. You just see me get struck by lightning.
Your internet just instantly goes out.
You just see like a bunch of purple everywhere. You know what happened. Okay. I was gonna say, so my experience with this album, I listened to it. First time I listened to it, I was in the gym. So my entire workout routine was just the entire new Green Day record. Great to work out to. It's awesome. It's got a great vibe. It really tells a story, very much similar to American Idiot. And I was going to say that when you said about Dookie and American Idiot, I'm so glad you said that. It was going to be a perfect segue, but it still works now. Do you know the weirdest thing? Green Day has released their best material in years that end in 4. 94 was Dookie, 04 was American Idiot, and 24 was this record. And I think those are the 3 best albums. That's weird.
That's trippy, because I know that Dookie and American Idiot were 10 years apart, because that's all they've been talking about, because they're going to tour and do the full albums of each of them. But I did not realize it's been 20. Yeah, that's crazy that it's also a year ending in 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I pointed that out, and I was like, whoa. By the way, I just want to say all my friends, too, that have listened to this record, people that don't even listen to, like, rock or punk music are like, this record is great. I can't stop listening to this. I did have I actually had a genuine, I am so happy with this record. I had a actual fight with somebody who told me it was awful. Like, I had a full-on heated argument with somebody.
Dude, that's awesome that you were arguing for the album, honestly, because it is a great album.
Course.
I don't see how someone could think It's awful. If they think it's awful, then they're just
Yeah,
being
no.
a hater for being a hater.
Well, this person also listens to Cannibal Corpse, so let's take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, yeah, that's the metal rock fan gatekeep. We've had this conversation before.
We've had this discussion many times. Shout out to you. You know who you are if you're watching this. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You know I don't. You've done this show with me long enough to know I just don't care. But yeah, that's what I think of the new Green Day record. And speaking of what I was saying about pop fans being into the record, the review on Apple Music, I believe, it might be Apple, I don't know where I saw this, but it was, someone reviewed it as Green Day's, or the music industry's punk revival. Like, that's how powerful this album is and could be to music culture, because we already had this discussion about pop music kind of leaning towards alternative and rock.
Side,
Olivia Rodrigo's doing it. Demi Lovato's doing it. A lot of people have been doing it lately. Maneskin is one of the biggest things in the world right now. A lot of people have been doing that, and it's the last 2 or 3 years. It's really starting to shift, and I can imagine in another 2 or 3 years, that's probably where the industry's going to be again. Because rock doesn't die; it just goes away. Takes time to heal and regrow and shed its skin and have a new idea and layer, and then just come back.
Yeah,
so
and then it
that's
comes
what's
back
gonna
stronger
happen
than
again.
ever.
Always, every time. So yeah, that's what I think is happening currently, and I think Green Day has really just thrown a massive amount of lighter fluid into the fire with this record.
I
So
agree
yeah.
completely. Green Day has this special thing about them where they're able to kind of transcend genre, like, because they started out as punk, but when you listen back to their songs, it doesn't really sound like punk, and it's not pop punk. It's their sound is Green Day, and they're able to relate to every single generation. And their songs are timeless, which it's really crazy. I was watching some like live footage of their concerts from like 5 years ago, and it's like a 2-hour set. You know, the crowd were singing every single one of their songs, and they had a whole set of just hits. And it wasn't just like they're just playing the old hits. It's like they're playing the new hits. They're playing from all over their catalog. It's kind of like I feel like they're one of the closest bands to the Beatles, whereas like the Beatles, you could sing every single one of their songs. I feel like Green Day is like a modern Beatles.
It's one of those bands, right? They're just one of those like top tier, like every single one. It's just like song after song after song. You're like, how the fuck did you do this with the same amount of time and hours and years that we all got? You know what I mean? They're just one of those things in this life. The Beatles are like that. Green Day's like that. And even outside of music, like William Shakespeare, like there's certain things throughout history where you're like, how did you do that with the same amount of time we all got? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I would like to take a second. I know we wanted to do this. Speaking of rock coming up and happening, I want to highlight kind of a smaller band that I see coming up, and I am lately noticing other people really getting into. I don't know anybody here has ever watched the reality show The Circle. It's like a game competition show, whatever. The guy who won the first season, he's an influencer. I follow him. He's a really cool guy. He's an Italian guy from New Jersey, so obviously I relate. He's really cool. His name is Joey, and I saw he posted on his story. He had a bunch of merch from this band. You know what band we're talking about. Really cool band. I wonder how they got the gig opening for Kiss. I don't know. Would you like to talk about them? Because you discovered them before I did.
Yeah. So this band is called Amber Wild. They started touring and playing shows and writing music within the last year. And the frontman is Evan Stanley, son of Paul Stanley. and they're super super cool dudes. I met them at Aftershock last year. They were struggling to find interviews, and it was their first festival show. And my mom were like, "Oh yeah, we'll interview you guys. I'm a big fan of Kiss." So I was like, "Of course I want to interview Evan Stanley," even though we didn't talk about Kiss because we don't like talking to the children of big stars about. We like talking to them about their project, not their parents' project.
Oh, okay. I'm not interrupting you here. I'm just going to say this. No one has any idea what I'm talking about on the podcast. Jonah, after we hang up, that reminds me to tell you about something that's related to what you just said. But keep going.
Okay. Yeah, but they're an awesome band. They're writing good rock. I think they have 2 singles out right now. And they're starting to make waves. They opened up on the final leg of the Kiss tour, Kiss End of the Road tour. I think it was the last leg.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's really funny because I was watching an interview with my mom, and Evan Stanley was like, yeah, we played to like hundreds of thousands of people opening for Kiss, but they still play those like club shows for like 20 people because they're still a new band.
Oh my god!
So
yeah.
it's like even though he has that relation and all those connections in the music industry, it's all about the music and
that don't matter
promoting
anymore.
the music.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's a different culture, especially now, like than as opposed to then. But yeah, no, you have to prove yourself. You know, it's like it's just like anything. I mean, the music industry, thankfully, there hasn't been too much of it throughout the years. I mean, every celebrity's kid would be famous then if that were the case. But the music industry, especially, I mean, in acting, you see it a lot. In politics, you see it a lot. But you don't really see in the music industry is nepotism. And I'm proud of that. I think that's a really cool thing because you see that in a lot of industries. Doctors, lawyers, actors, politicians. You see it everywhere, but not really. But besides like what? Like Enrique? Like where else do you see that?
Yeah, you don't see that too much. And then when you do see a child of a star, like they write good music. Yeah, they write good music. They're good. Yeah.
Look at Mammoth. That's one of the greatest bands out there right now. Mammoth WVH is like top tier, like probably the greatest hard rock band to exist in 2024, newer. So, I mean, yeah, look at that. He's mega talented. There's zero nepotism there. If he could have zero relation to Eddie Van Halen, I still believe his music would be as important as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so I'm with you. That's super cool though. You got to like literally interview them, and yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I have a big thing about that, and I've seen it before, and it just drives me crazy. Like when people get interviewed, like kids, child celebrities, celebrities of children who are
trying to make a name for themselves.
Celebrities' children, they get interviewed, and the person just asks them about their parent the entire time. It's so annoying. I whenever I meet, and this again, I'm going to tell you about this afterward because I did actually have an experience. You don't like just ask the person it's just so rude and disrespectful. Like if you were talking to someone, like, would you like it if every time you were doing an interview, like people just asking you about your dad?
Yeah, no,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It puts them in a shadow which they don't want to be in, and it's kind of a barrier they have to get past already. Having a famous, successful parent, because it puts a lot of pressure on them because people are like,
it puts like shame on them. It's messed up. You know, it's like a shame. It's like shameful. But why? If they're mega talented, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's a legacy. Then it's a dynasty. That's cooler. You know? Like, what? So what? I don't know. It just drives me nuts. So I've made a vow. There's a couple things in my life that I've pointed out and be like, I'm never going to do that. So I've made a vow anytime I ever meet anyone I'm never going to ask them about their celebrity parent. Ever. If that conversation goes there, that's a different thing. But no, I couldn't. Like, if I ever met Wolfgang, I would not ask him a single question about Eddie. And I don't want to. I want to ask him about his music, about his creative process, about the way he plays guitar. If I want to talk about Eddie, I don't know. I'll have to meet Alex, or I'll have to meet Sammy Hagar. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna ask Wolf, especially he lost his father. Like, he should be allowed to have his own legacy. It's different if you're friends with somebody, but I mean, like in a meeting interaction.
Yeah,
just weird.
no.
I
agree. I completely agree with you on that.
I love how this discussion started about new music and it became about nepotism. That's so us. That is so us.
That's Rev Rock Revolution.
This podcast. How many times? I feel like you've said the name of the show like 6 times in this episode.
We should get a counter. Let's bring back counters.
No, we can't bring back the counters. We can't. What is with us today? I'm gonna call this episode. I feel like calling this episode like the one with the perfect segues, because I was just gonna literally say, when you said counters, I was proud of you for talking about Kiss and not talking about a certain individual the entire time. So our segues are just clean today. I don't know we are like, I told you, okay, I summoned the ghost of Prince and now we're perfect. That's what's happened.
There we go.
There's no other explanation for it. Yeah, I feel like that's all I really have to say about all of that. Again, I have a release on Wednesday, January 31st. What About Me? Jonah played bass on it. I'm really excited about it. Jinx has a ton of new music. Songs are awesome.
We'll be announcing stuff probably within the next couple of weeks. So look out for that.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. And we're both out there on social media, growing the thing. I'm putting out more content. You can sign up for my fan community from the link in my bio. You join my email and text list. You can stay tuned and everything. Social media algorithms suck, and barely a fraction of your audience sees everything that you put out there. So if you want to really stay in tune with what I'm doing, you do that. Same thing with Jinx. Obviously, the link in our bio can also take you to our bios, or if you want to check out more about the show, feel free to do that. I know I got new fans now from my new systems who are coming in and watching this show, so hello. I feel like that's a great place to leave off. So until next time, my name is Nick Valley.
I'm Jonah Doc, and
this is
Rev Rock Revolution.
Rev Rock Revolution. I beat you.
You did.